Tonight is a great opportunity to highlight what the Construction Innovation Hub has already achieved in partnership with organisations and individuals from across industry, academia and government. And thank you for all of the hard work that you have done to bring this world-leading project to its successful completion. In addition, this evening is also a chance to continue the important conversation about our broader future strategy and how we can work together and continue to work together to accelerate the shift towards manufacturing and digital processes in construction, something we talk about an awful lot, but also together with the value-based approach that is part of the discussion today. And as everybody here knows, and Ellie's already talked about, decision-making in construction has historically been driven by a number of drivers. And what hasn't necessarily come through during that history is other things, social issues, environmental opportunities, or other aspects of a project which haven't necessarily been considered. And so the task that the Construction Innovation Hub undertook was a hugely ambitious one, to transform the way the industry thinks about and how they measure value, and then to shift that investment decision from a narrow perspective to one which is more all-encompassing and demonstrates value. Now, you know, as I do, that the UK is facing significant economic challenge at present. And I know that the construction sector understands this as well as any other, if not more. And clients are understandably going to be focused on sometimes short-term needs and how they get through the immediate time. But the principle of value-based decision-making, which has been used both in government and private sector investment policy for some time now, is that the reality is that implementation in projects is often inconsistent. And there is often a gap between policy and practice. And so that's why things like the Value Toolkit is so important, but also so timely, given the challenges which we are facing. The Toolkit provides a practical process to help users make and then implement, importantly, value-based decisions, guiding and prompting decision-making in workshops and meetings, and serving as a mechanism for recording, justifying, and embedding the key decisions which have been arrived at. And by demonstrating best practice approaches during the early phases of a project or a programme, the toolkit will help ensure that we close that gap between what people want to see happen and then what actually happens, between plans and performance. It has the potential to be a seismic shift for the industry, but it is also one that is very important to happen. And I say that because I'm from the project industry. I spent 10 years before I became a Member of Parliament as a project manager, as a project director, as a change director, albeit in a different sector. But I know as well as many of you do just how challenging it is to get things going. And then once you've got things going, make sure that they land. But equally, there's a whole set of decisions about getting things going in terms of what you prioritise, the order in which you do it, and trying to bring people together in a way which makes it work over the long term. And so I know how important that is and why this particular element of what you have all been doing in construction is so significant. And I would have loved to have models and frameworks like these in my former life in another sector. And now you have it. It's a great opportunity for that use and to improve value and outcome over the long term. The architects of the project acknowledge, of course, that defining desired outcomes will require considerable rigour, and understanding what a client wants, whether it be an approach, delivery or risk, takes time. And these things are things which are understood, but if they are done right and if people invest the time, all of those challenges will be more than offset by efficiencies at the later stage of a build and will lead to improved outcomes. And that means the ultimate goal is to create a more sustainable model for the sector and a more sustainable built environment for everyone. And we all recognise that the cost of the race to the bottom for firms and for the people of this country who experience that built environment over the long term and on a daily basis is far greater than the cost of creating value at the outset by setting up construction projects in the right way. The Toolkit is a game-changing initiative for everyone working in the built environment. On behalf of government, I'd like to say thank you again and to commend you all for what you have achieved. A quality, sustainable, high-performing built environment is central to what the government wants to achieve for the future, And we can only do that with a forward-looking and capable construction sector intent on delivering best value. The Transforming Construction Challenge, of which the Construction Innovation Hub is a vital component, has set the strategic direction and laid the groundwork for industry modernisation and transformation through successfully trialling new products, new processes and material innovations, like the one we're here to celebrate today, and it has moved the sector towards an industrialised and digitalised ecosystem where collaboration is the order of the day. And I look forward to that continuing in the years ahead. And government wholeheartedly encourages the sector to adopt Value Toolkit where they can, and all of the innovations of the Transforming Construction Challenge. Beyond the challenge and the CIH, government's commitment to modernisation continues through the National Infrastructure Strategy, the Transforming Infrastructure Performance Roadmap, and the Construction Playbook, in which the value tool is embedded. And this evening, in addition, as Ellie has indicated, we're also here to celebrate the development of a new standard, the BS Flex 390 Built Environment Value-Based Decision-Making Standard, which sits alongside the toolkit. And this standard, although it's a long one, will ensure that the overarching principles which you have all worked on, for so long, are founded and set in stone, and most importantly, accessible to all. So congratulations again. In a moment, I'm going to hand over to Dan Rossiter from the BSI to tell us more about that standard. But before I do, as Ellie indicated, innovation is easy, implementation is hard, but I have every confidence that the people in this audience and beyond in the construction sector will be able to do it, and they have a great new opportunity to do that and a great new lever that they can pull in what has been proposed and what we are celebrating tonight. Thank you again.